this meeting to order.
Roll call, Mayor Juarez.
Here.
President Newmiller.
Here.
Council Butcher. Here. Council McCarthy.
Here.
Council Sutherland.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Open discussion. If we have anyone in the gallery who wishes to bring anything up to council, please approach the lectern, state your name for the record, and just be mindful of the clock that says 5 minutes.
I'm going to go over that, I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh,
But
no.
you're going to learn something.
Oh, I never surprise stuff.
Okay. So I want to thank you for what you're doing on the water. It sounds like we're going to get some, maybe the hydrant and the Band-Aid thing, and we're all going to get some new curb stops. So that's cool. So the next thing. I didn't know if you ever knew it, but years ago the council, back when Joe was in here, had a deal where they were going to tear down the old fire hall and the community building and stuff, and they were putting a new senior citizen center in there. Well, they pissed off a Mills kid, and he rode a bicycle around, and I got 680 signatures to save a building. They supposedly got $750,000 grant to fix that building. The things about that building that they didn't know that I knew from going to the old mayor's is back then it was the evacuation center for Mills School in a crisis. That is the very first precast building in the state of Wyoming. I got it started on the historic registry for an old firehouse. But the thing that really kicked them was that land years ago was donated to the town of Mills by the county. And if the structures ever came to the ground, then the land goes back to the county. So they did their work and they got $750,000. Where they spent it over there, I don't see 3/4 in that building, but we saved the building. That's what it was about. During all that fight and everything, the fire station moved up the hill, and the guy that was running the show, chief back then, I ain't gonna say who, but I asked him if he'd leave the town bell and the hose cart down there for historic reasons. He can go make his memories up here. We're trying to save this for the people in the past down here. Well, I found out the bell years ago got, a ranch took the bell, and then the ranch donated it back to the town, not to the fire department, to the town. So I got all the council, Kayleen, Dean, Tanis, and Rayvert, to vote to bring that all back down here to be reconditioned and brought back down here. It never got brought back down here. That's okay, we're going different directions. So the other direction that I offered them back in them days is, and I can't do it nowadays, but I'll find somebody. If they would put that bell, and it used to go on like 2 poles up and across in the bell. The hose cart was below it. If they had put that back there, which I'm going to go a different direction in a minute, but if they'd put that back there, then let's get some bricks engraved with all the people of the history of Mills that are on the fire department and the police department and your council and your mayors, and let's put them around that and in tribute. So Jerry, which was the head of the police department back in them days, suggested that we put it up at the Memorial Park, which is going to be service and sacrifice. And I was against that. But now with everything that you're doing up there, I think that that would be something to consider to put up there in honor to the past firemen and police people, and go back to the engraving of bricks for council, mayors, fire department, and people that did good for your town. But the one thing I did find out when we started to do some stuff up there, because this thing you're doing now, that service and sacrifice, sort of got started 25 years ago. And we were doing this with this hose cart and all this stuff. The state, and then they told me, the federal government told me 2 things we couldn't touch and move was the Oregon Trail Monument and the Mormon Monument. Absolutely can't even move them an inch, they said. Don't touch them. So if you guys think you can get a little farther with this dream up there, I think maybe we should try to see if we could get some fundraisers going to get some bricks engraved. And I'll go talk to the, I've tried to engrave brick. That ain't my talent. I put one on top of two. That was all I could do with them. But I'll go over to the tombstone people and everything and chum them, because we had some engraved that we put in the Yellowstone garage when we did that remodel for John. So I think that if we could get bricks engraved with dates, that would complement some of the people that isn't around no more. And I think it'd be pretty easy to get fundraisers to go, and I see that through your rough drawing you had to send on, or your pictures on TV, it looked like you were going to have some masonry work. So I think that you ought to consider some stuff like that. Thanks, I didn't go much.
It would be appreciated if you could lend a hand. We're struggling to find somebody who will engrave in bricks and then will lay them.
I can't touch them legally.
Yeah.
I can't legally touch them no more.
But if
But
you know somebody,
I can damn sure, it's one on top of two, man. I can show anybody. If I could do it for a living, yeah. But, it is, we were gonna do it over here, and, back then I could lay them and I could have my kids come help me. And what we'd wanna do is, obviously you wanna get 50 to 100 and then go, and then 50 to 100 and go. I mean, you can't, every time you get 5 or 6 of them, that ain't worth it to any of us. But, and I don't, maybe if you've been downtown Salt Lake, you've seen them on the ground and everything. That ain't bad, and maybe that's a place for people that are the donating, but those deteriorate away, and they go away. And if you were doing the masonry ones, like memories, I would suggest you don't start that till they're about a foot and a half off the ground, because of snowpack and everything that leans up against them and all of that, because it's going to eat on them. And you only want to do this once. But I will talk to the engravers because we had them down at John's, and I'll go talk to the engravers and see if there's an art to it, or if there's a better way to do it to where it would be cheaper on the town and cheaper on everybody else, and maybe we can find somebody to do it inexpensive. But I think if them engravers sort of know what we're doing and they get a little advertisement out of it and can put their stone there that we donated the engraving and stuff, I think it might be a little more possible to get them to step up to the plate.
I think that would be really nice to do with that bell, and then we wouldn't have to worry about vandalism or anything, because it's a pretty high visibility park out there.
Well, yeah, and I really wanted it back over here for the tribute to the old fire station and what we did. And actually, like I said, I did have it voted that is where it's supposed to go. But I'm the one that beat the drum to do that, and I'm the one that will beat the drum to say, it needs to go here.
Yeah, I like your suggestion a lot, and I'll bring it to the group. And as long as council, how council goes.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you.
A little bit over. Come on.
Hi, my name is Marilee Johnston. A lot of people know me as Marilee the Clown. I just typed this up because I get nervous sometimes when I'm not dressed like a clown talking to people. I have been to Summerfest for the past a vendor at the Summerfest for the past 5 or 6 years, and I just want to share how important this event is, not only to me, but to so many small businesses and families in the community. Summerfest is truly one of the best events I do all summer. It brings people together, creates a fun and welcoming atmosphere, and gives local vendors like me a chance to connect with customers, grow our businesses, and earn much needed income. Many of us rely on events like this to help carry us through the year. I was very disappointed to hear that Summerfest has been canceled, And I believe this decision will be detrimental not only to vendors, but to the entire community. This event brings life to our town, supports small businesses, and gives families something positive to look forward to each summer. I'd like to respectfully ask if there is a specific concern that could be addressed with additional support. For instance, if the issue is staffing or resources, would the council consider bringing the event back if there are enough community volunteers willing to step in and help? I know there are many people who care deeply about this event and would gladly lend a hand and make it happen. If there's another reason, what would it take for Summerfest to return this year? And how can vendors and community members work alongside the city to make this possible? Summerfest has always been a highlight of my summer, and I know many others feel the same way. I would truly love to see it come back this year. I love hearing kids say, "It's Merrily the Clown. I saw you at Summerfest." With all the turmoil going on in the world, I feel that it's good for us to come together as a community and work toward a common positive goal. Thank you for your time and for your considering the voices of vendors in the community.
Thank you.
My name's Larry Seams. I'm commander of the American Legion. And I was wondering, I've driven through here quite a bit. I live on Chamberlain Road. And there's a flagpole out here with lights. There's a flagpole between the police station and the fire station, but there's no flags ever on them. Both of them are lit, so there's no reason they can't fly them 24/7. You do have a flagpole at the maintenance facility that's maintained by the fire department, but I was just wondering why you didn't have one on the city hall and the police station.
That's a good question. We might bring the chief up. His crew is in charge of doing that. Will, do you want to speak?
Yes.
Sorry. Mr.
So
Steve.
the one here at City Hall is a lanyard issue. It had been replaced before George retired. And then the flags went back up. And then when they came down with the windstorm and that's when the lanyard snapped. And the city doesn't have any way, we don't have any equipment that would get up that high to replace the lanyard. So then after contract, I believe Enoch provided the bucket truck last time. So that's why that one's not up. The one between the fire station and the police station was pulled down because of the high winds. And the flags were just getting shredded with the high winds. I will say, I believe a week and a half ago, I told them they could put them back up. And they haven't gone back up yet, but yeah, that's why they were originally taken down, was the winds were trashing them.
Okay.
RD signs will come and work on those.
On the lanyard?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Public Works,
That's,
deals with that.
because we had one over in the park on 13th, and we had to get RD over there because that lanyard came off, that
Oh,
one
okay.
flag.
So we'll reach out to them and see what they can do to help.
Yeah,
Then
Jerry Gallus, he's been
Jerry.
here for 100 years.
Well, and I think we need to make sure it's the right size diameter road, because that was one problem we had after it had been replaced. Everybody struggled to actually manipulate the lanyard and raise and lower the flag.
maybe it's a little bit more broken than we think.
Yeah, I don't know
All
what's,
this
all I
stuff
know is that when it came down, that was it.
Yeah, yeah, well, I wonder, is there options for flags that can tolerate the wind a little bit better?
Now, we replace them at Veterans Park and Memorial Park. Whenever they get bad, we fly a 4x6 American flag and then 3x5 other flags. And we just keep buying them, you know, there's nothing you can do about the Wyoming wind, but we fly our flags.
Yeah.
For what
yeah.
it's worth, if you get a maritime flag, they'll hold up like crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, I even talked to Ghost Town, like, hey, can you do extra stuff around the edges? And she said it actually makes it worse because it makes them heavier.
oh.
So she said it would be worse. They tried it.
Yeah, we went to Kistler and did that.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't last any longer.
Huh, yeah, well, we will absolutely look into that for you.
All right, thank you.
At the very least, we'll
We'll get
get
flags up
something
in the
at the
morning.
police, yeah, yeah. Thank you for bringing that to us. Marilee, I was hoping Councilmember McCarthy would speak on that. She was the chair for the Summerfest and she decided to step down, but, yeah, it's such a great event. Everyone really loved it. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into it and requires a lot of volunteers, a lot.
I'm happy to help round up volunteers, I really am.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to volunteer sometime as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And, you know, we'll have some discussions with city. I think we were hoping to pause this year and maybe revamp and do something next year. It's our biggest draw.
I think too,
just so
we
you
have
know-
sponsors.
Okay.
We have sponsors that were, I mean, tell me if I'm incorrect, that we are going, sponsors that usually sponsor Summerfest are now sponsoring Service and Sacrifice Park. And it's really hard to ask them
I get
to
that,
double dip, and yeah, so that's kind of a struggle.
I understand. The other thing is, it might not matter to you at all, but I also found out just within a couple of days that I found out about this, the Hat 6, Summer Hits at Hat 6 is taking a pause this year as well.
Oh.
Are they?
So it's gonna be a really slow and sad summer if
Oh.
you guys are both not doing anything this year. And they said the same thing, they're thinking about just pausing this year, maybe coming back next year. I do see your point, and I understand that. I mean, I'm happy to try to round up more sponsors too. I know I'm not a part of this, so I just feel like it's such a good thing for families and everything. I do see your point though. I know I was just at that point where I was gonna pay the $100 for my husband and I to go to the thing, and then I was like, yikes, I'm losing all these things this summer, maybe I better take a step back and make sure, you know, I'm not gonna need that $100. But I understand, I do understand.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone just across the board is recalibrating with finances and, you know, I mean, some things are more expensive than we'd hoped they would be, that's for sure, but hopefully you'll check into the event center and what they're doing out there. It's gonna be a pretty big deal. So,
Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll be there.
yeah, good.
Yeah, I usually do their event anyway, their other events, so.
Awesome.
And we loved having you the last, 8 years?
I know, I couldn't even
It's been
remember how
great.
many years I've
Yeah,
been doing
it's
it,
been a
but-
long time.
Yeah,
For
but
sure.
I love it, I've enjoyed it completely, and I've met a lot of people through,
Yeah.
through doing it, so.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time and listening. And,
Yeah. You were with us for some of the movies though, weren't you?
Yes, I did a couple of the movie nights
So-
too, yeah.
Well, good. Hopefully we get you back for that too.
Yeah, that would be fun. Oh, good, so you're still planning on that?
Yeah, we're still doing those.
Good, good.
So, well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming
You're
and
so
speaking on that.
welcome.
Is there any other comments from the gallery? All right, we'll go into ordinance number 833, third and final reading. And ordinance establishing an appeals board for the city of Mills, Wyoming.
I move that we approve ordinance number 833 for a third and final reading.
Any discussion? How does council vote? Aye.
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 Motion passes. Ordinance number 834, second reading, an ordinance providing for asserting liens on certain properties which have delinquent water and sewer bills.
I move that we approve ordinance number 834 on a second reading.
Second.
Any discussion? How does council vote? Aye.
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 Motion passes. Ordinance number 835, second reading, ordinance providing for adjustment of certain water bills.
I move that we approve ordinance number 835 on a second reading.
Second.
Any discussion? How does council vote? Aye.
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 Motion passes. I think we're going straight into executive session.
Move that we go into executive session for a legal matter.
Second.
How does council vote? Aye.
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 Motion passes.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you, Mr. Steve.
Right, they're working, they play tramp. And then, well, was he at work?
all 5 council members have returned from executive session. Legal matter, do I have a motion?
I make a motion to authorize the medical biller to write off certain medical bills for the deceased and/or bankrupt.
Second.
How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Do we want to then address the appeal also, or is that?
So we should address, we can address the specific appeal, so there's a specific authorization in case they're time sensitive, and then take it up as a policy in the next council.
Do I have a motion for?
I make a motion to authorize the fire chief and the medical biller to appeal on Medicaid and CMS payments when they feel are necessary.
Second.
How does council vote? Aye.
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 Motion passes.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
How does council vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Motion passes.